All right, let me get the link here. Let me also make this a bit easier for me. All right. Just getting the link and sending it out. Here we go. Get the link. All right, I'm just going to share this out to the interwebs. And I'll be right there. Let's see here. I wonder if there's a way I can get this link up going a little bit easier. Oops, not that. All right. Hi, Taco. Got both dogs on either side of me. Okay. Let's see. So, I have written about 4 or 5 songs in like a month, and got pretty close to completing most of them. But this particular one is the one I probably worked on the least. And after listening to it a couple times, there were some things I wanted to change. Mostly the groove, I think, and I'm going to kind of go through the drums and see if I can clean things up. So let's see here. I think I'm going to just listen to this piece here. Actually, let me just kind of set the vibe. Hi, intro. How you doing? I was just setting up, trying to get the vibe. As mentioning earlier, basically, kind of trying to. This is the track of the ones I've been working on that had the least amount of work put into it. So I'm trying to, I think, mostly mess with the drums and clean up certain pieces. But I was just playing it to kind of get my mind right in the vibe. So I'm just gonna play the verse, and I'll probably just loop this actually, and then see what the drums are like. I was just taking a couple notes here. So I think most of it is the drums that need work. Let's just solo the drum bus here. Snare. Ooh. Oh, that's a nasty transient. Let's see what that looks like after all the mixing and everything. We'll set this to resample, record, and we'll take a look at that transient real quick. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It's not a very pretty transient. I figure we could probably find a better snare. I see what I did here is I have 3 different things going on, triggers. So I guess this is the main, which uses this frequency shifter. Oh man, all this stuff. I don't need this. I just want the, yeah, okay. Okay, so it just has, I see. I grouped these into an audio effects rack, and I have, I guess, probably 3 different shifting types and EQ types. This one has reverb, so maybe. Yeah, that's actually not so bad. Good, glad you're doing all right. Any new tracks coming out with? This looks. Oh, I don't know what the deal is with that. And this is a new snare. I figure what's going to happen here is. You know what? Screw all this. Let's just make a new snare. I'm thinking, does my kick have a different change as well? No, it does not. So I don't need this. I actually can ungroup all of this, I think. Oh no, wait, I have it 2 clicks. That's fine. We'll keep that. And then this doesn't need to. Okay. So snare. Let's find a new snare. I'm actually thinking probably. So I remember finding this. I'm thinking maybe a Beats, a break beat. Oops, Control F. This drum. Maybe. Let me just, oops. Let's give it a shot. Whoa. Was this the one? Yeah, let's move this here. Let's go Oh, that's why. I forgot about that. Yeah, no, that doesn't sound right. Is there anything? Try the other one. Yeah, sounds too muffled, and there's like a snare hitting behind it. It'd make a good break beat, like to have layered behind it, but just find a snare, I guess. Oops, that's a lot of words. Ah, good. What kind of remix is this? Let's see here. Leviathan always has good ones. I don't even remember what key this is in. I think it's an E. Yeah. Okay. I don't know about these. Maybe? should hear it in context. Normalize should be. I might actually just make my own in Kick 2, I think. I like this, except... Alright, let's just transient shaper on it. Let's add a shifter. Front. Put soft clipping on just in case. Find a little bit of reverb. Put it F. Yeah, we'll put it before. Oh yeah. I just listened to, I did just listen to the Houdini one. I thought it was pretty funny. I liked the video of it quite a lot. Back in the day, I used to listen to Eminem all the time. I used to listen to all that hip-hop, Chronic, 2001, and before that. My parents hated rap, as suburban parents typically have, but... I remember trying to we were using CD players on the bus, and those CD players they scratch easily all the time, and the bus is moving, so it's it skips all the time. I remember trying to hold it like this, and I had a burnt CD because that I got from a friend of mine, and they had all of that stuff, and so I had to hide it from my parents because they weren't really into rap at all. And so, yeah. But I really like that new Houdini video. It was really cool. I didn't really like some of the phrases were a little cheesy, but I guess that's okay. It's not a bad thing. It was just but there was a lot of good ideas in it. It was fun. Reverb. Oh. I think this song could call for a high decay. It's definitely not loud enough. So maybe instead of using this, I'll use a limiter. It's you can tell it's not very thick, right? But I really like the tone of it. And this is 150 milliseconds. The track's at 72 BPM. It's 208, so yeah, we're probably looking around there. I kind of want to cut it shorter, so that should work for now. Let's get I do need to raise the volume. I'm gonna put a limiter on it. Apparently, I cannot spell limiter. Just using mostly stock Ableton stuff and free stuff. And since we have a limiter, yeah, I have that turned off. Let's this might not work out, but that's kind of the fun with drums, I guess. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Just making sure I'm not fucking. So yeah, we got a couple dB we can go on this. The kick and snare, I want to be relatively level. It needs to fade more. The decay is now way too much. Yeah, okay. Let's see here. Maybe it's slower. Oh, I'm an idiot. I should do an EQ. That should be here. This. Is it better high or low? And I make my own kick. Sometimes you gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them, and this is definitely the case of needing to fold it. I think it would work better in a faster track, this type of kick. So I'll turn all of that off for now, and I'm gonna find kick 2. I'll add that here instead, and I have my own presets. I mean, this is kind of what I was going for. It's just this is more snappy. So also, why does it sound like there's? Oh, right. That's why. I gotta solo the drum beat. I was like, why is there a cymbal being played underneath that? Okay, so I'm gonna make this sample, I think, all the way so I can see the whole thing, as opposed to it being 400 milliseconds and then being like, okay, where is this? Yeah, let's make it. Wait, did I put it in the right place? I totally did not put it in the right place. I'm an idiot. Whoops. Do. Oh, this is gonna be annoying. I'm probably gonna be changing the. I'm gonna change the hat anyway, so fuck it. Hat will be changed. Right. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So let's make it the side closer to the size of this, and then I'm going to. It's going to be easier to fuck with the transient a little bit. That's not what we want. Here. Excuse me. That sounds like a fun thing. That's a kick. Hold on. Oops. I was trying to see if I can make it. Maybe I can't do it that way, the way I want it. Okay. Well, I will look at the EQ on my old snares. In here, technically get the same response. I'll just crop sample, put this down, reset that, fade out. Yeah, see, I guess like the transient I was kind of going for is this little dip. When I walked into this track, it was like just like fat. I think it just had too much. I think it was like re-rendered. I probably re-rendered it with a compressor and just squared the fuck out of it. Okay, so we got that. Let's get the EQ and the shifter going. That already sounds better. Yeah, I like it with the highs. It's too much. There we go. And then I'm afraid that's going to raise the first half of the transient too much. Yeah. So that's what I probably did, is I had this guy and it was too much. So let's lower the attack a bit. And do soft clip. Yeah. I like doing it like this because it gives you kind of an idea of like how loud it is through the whole thing, and there should be like some bounce to it. Maybe it just doesn't need that because it sounded better without it. I just like to add it because it adds more punch to it. Actually, hold on. Let me see what happens if I put it before the reverb. Yeah. I mean, it is actually better. You see there's a little dip. I think having the clipping, soft clipping, is still good. We can just like lower the speed and just make this maybe a little less. It sounds a lot better already. I still am not liking it. What if I add a pump to it? Let's just see what happens. Yeah, alright. Fuck that. We're not using transient saver, it's fine. What do you think this is looking? Yeah, I think so too. The kick looks good. Yeah. less. Yeah. I think it's too long. It's definitely not the length. Should be. I know. All the drum stuff is boring. I also had to add in, let's see. It's supposed to be a hat. Isn't there also like a hat too? Or did I use the hat? Other hat? I feel like this one, right? Is that not being used? It is, okay. Let me get that in. Oh, I like that actually. No, don't do that. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, this song needs a lot of work. Actually, kind of. Does sound good by itself. I still question whether it fits with the bass or not, which might mean I need to take a look here. Let's see. Let's take a look at this guy. Sub bass. All right, so I'm gonna be pulling out some EQ stuff here. I have a Pro Q here. Looks like I already kind of like set up some mastering. So for the sub, I'm just trying to like make sure I'm staying around this line here, and making sure that the other transients aren't really exceeding over the sub. And then I have this total balance I like. That kind of like gives you an idea of like sort of the range. It's not like a you have to do it kind of thing, but it helps when you're kind of like knowing which direction you should be kind of like fitting to. It's not a bad sound. The pitching on it, that was the other thing I wanted to do. I wanted to try a different groove. That's probably going to change things. I'm just going to move this over to the other screen. Well, hold up. Let's do this then. Let's just see if it actually works. Do a little proof of concept here. Let's set it to a terrific grid. I'll keep it at 16th. So let's do something like that. Snare, kick, What if I did it something? Oops. Oh yeah, I also have this stuff. It's gonna be like a whole fucking thing. This might not even work. Triple of 16ths. I mean, these are on. I think those can stay. These should. I think that's unnecessary. And then let's try. Do. Something like that. Let's just see. Most definitely not. I mean, I could probably make that work. It would be more interesting than if I get rid of that. Also, that hat sounds shitty. Actually, that one doesn't sound as bad. That doesn't work. Let's see here. Do. I'm starting to think that these fills might not be working either. It's so funny. It's been a while since I worked on this thing. I'll just put it there so that I can sort of get an idea of what I'm looking for, and then change the percussion later. Do. Something like that, right? What if I did 30 seconds and then something like that? Or and a little space, right? Need a little bit of space before dipping back in. What if that I have a rate? Oh, I'm gonna have to bring in the new webs I made. But for the sake of, I think that might be better. Let's see here. Also, this. Actually wondering. Da 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 da. While I'm doing this, let's actually save this as a different version before I start doing all this crap. Version for New Groove. The Emperor's New Groove. Yeah, I was just curious if this, with this new space that's here, maybe that goes in better with the longer rate on that wub, the wub-a-dub. I do think that sounds better. This over here. Right, I'm just going to Control J that. Let's triple grid this. See, let's take the 16ths. We can try 30 seconds. I think that still falls on, yeah. Let's do 16ths. I actually like that on the 30-second. The unfortunate part is this might fuck this entire thing, which is a whole thing. In the intro, it's actually kind of interesting and fun. I don't think that works. But I also think the hats are distracting. Maybe a groove isn't the way to go for this. I thought it was a good try. And also, now the snare sounds not fat enough, I think. Like coming into that now, it all sounded cohesive up until the changes I made. But I also know the snare I had was in it. I'll write in my notes here. Okay, so new groove, no. Wub, I did change the wub, kick snare, vocals more crisp. I guess I can do that. That's a little bit more fun. Kind of like bouncing around here because like the I can get like really honed into doing drums for like hours straight, and it's like the most boring fucking thing to watch. I feel unless people like it. I don't know. Like if you're saying keep working on the drums, I'll keep making a snare for the next hour and a half, and that will be it. But for now, let's try and look at some things here because. Um, Yeah, so I have like some dissonance going on. These are not 100% tuned, which is kind of on purpose. I have a little altar boy attached to it, and then so I have each of them kind of like pitched to make a harmony, and then I move them um, slightly apart in the clip. So like this one's at just exactly +5, but the other ones are like some like 0.5 point something or 3 point something and stuff like that, or minus. And so that's how it kind of creates that sort of wide distance. Um, there's a couple cool things I'm just gonna kind of try and see if we can get something unique. It's actually pretty crisp. I think now that I'm hearing them separately, the bass was probably interfering with it. So I think during the break in the build, I'll have to figure something out on the EQ just during those moments. But for now, I wanted to. What was I gonna do? It's like that echo crunch that I love. I love putting this on vocals just to see what happens. I have 2 of them, I guess. Let's see. I'll just put it at the end to see what it sounds like. And what did I say? One beat was 100 and something milliseconds. It's 139 milliseconds. So if I go to the mapping here, I put the max to 139. 39. Let's see what happens. Or I can do the opposite. Okay. I'm sorry, I just really love how that sounds. To me, it sounds so interesting. Um, I mentioned this before, like when I was first making it, it like really reminded me of like the Tony Visconti and David Bowie effects that he would do. Um, Maybe I only have it on that much here. Let's fuck around with this. All right, come on. I'm not gonna keep. Maybe I will. I don't know. The limiter should definitely be behind it, or in front of it. All right. What was I thinking here? This little comes in here. Yeah. I have way too many Bowie things. You can see one of the pictures here. There's one right behind me. Up there, back when I was living in an older apartment, um, I have like probably about like 80 like records, and I used to put them all around my wall. Uh, Back when life was more chaotic. It's kind of cool. And also, there's for sure times where this should not be on at all. Yeah. Well, to be fair, I knew that wasn't going to work. But I was just curious. I think in the beginning I'll just have it super pretty, right? And then oops. So it'll be like clean. You know, I'm actually going to keep the intro clean, but I do like it. The sort of change in the effect over here is fun. It's always one of my favorites. Let's put that behind the limiter. And what was the other thing? Probably behind this too. There was something I heard, I think maybe in the ARP. Yeah, it's just not loud enough. And okay, so if that's the case, I must have. Okay, there's a sub that comes in here. This goes high. What if I actually did these an octave lower? I don't know. Let's hear it with the context of the rest of it. I think it sounds cool, but it might not fit on this with that octave, that low an octave. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to choose. I think it's too distracting from the vocals when it's that low, and it kind of feels like it's more in the back, uh, in between these two. I'm not exactly trying to get it louder. I'm just monitoring it. I was bringing this all over just to kind of show what I'm looking at on my screens on either side of me. This is on the master, so I'm using the total balance to kind of get an idea of where I'm sitting on the slope of things, and then I'm using the Q just to kind of make sure that there's no overlapping frequencies, and the transients, the lower transients aren't rising above the sub. And then I was just using this because I was curious where it was sitting at the end of the chain. This song I don't think really needs to be too loud. If I listen to here. I think somewhere around 7 is a good amount for this song. And then during the build, obviously, it gets a little bit, a little louder. The snare still bothers the fuck out of me, though. So there's that. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to fixing that again. What was I looking for? Let's find another snare. I like this. I like the tone of this snare, but it does not fit this sound. This song. And I don't think I liked any of these Black Octopus ones. These ones. Alright, well, bear with me for a second, because this might be funny. I still have all this shit on. Just out of curiosity. Is there a longer snare? I kind of like that. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. Normalize. Fade out. I'm actually going to crop this sample just so I can see how many milliseconds it is. Well, this is super short. Let's make this fade out barely exist. This is not going to work. I really like the tone of it though. It is too short. So let's go with, is there anything here? Let's see if Mr. Bill has organic drums. Snares. That sounds like his voice or somebody's voice. Maybe? Is there a difference between using EQs via plugin or as a filter? I don't think it really matters. I prefer using the stock Ableton's EQ8 when filtering. There's I think there was like a video I shared a while ago. I kind of threw this in here because I was like I want to use it, but I don't think it's gonna work for this song. But essentially, you know, I have this. Either there's an auto filter, of course, which is just whoops, Control F, which works totally fine. You know, you can. It's simple, so you can just do stuff like this. You can add the resonance if you want to sweep something, and you can. There's high pass, low pass, both pass, bell, and notch. Well, this is notch. And so, you know, you can still use this. What does this sound like right now? And that's just the auto filter. So it's like, if you're like, oh, I know exactly what I'm trying to get, and I only need like a simple curve, then just use the auto filter. And the EQ8 is like, I use that for more complicated ones. So like, for example, this, I have a LFO, there should be, oh, wait, oh, here you go, there you are. So you see I have both of these. So I have different, essentially, two bell curves like going in opposite directions, and it's all, and then like this, like also increasing the gain while doing stuff. More complicated stuff like that, I'll just use the stock EQs. I don't like using, like, I wouldn't use FabFilter to do all the same stuff just because it's kind of more of a pain in the ass to set up. For this, all I had to do was group it and then add in these modulations, so you can just like map it to these, and then you can change the mapping here on the top left exactly how you want. And like technically you could do all of this stuff with FabFilter. It's just I don't see really a point if it's going to make it take a little bit longer to get to what you want to do. That's a cool sound. There's no way. I might be able to make that work in this song. Who knows? But yes, snares, right. So the problem I'm having right now is all the snares I've been doing have been more like funky sounding snares. So they're a bit thin, and they're very quick, and this song is slower. I think it does want... Yeah, no problem, of course. um, I love talking about modulation stuff and all that. The what was I at? Yeah, so I was looking for most of the standards I was doing so far are too um, small. So maybe we do want to actually go for something that's like 278 milliseconds, maybe closer to, let's say, 3. So 417 maybe might be a good amount to look for. And usually the longer ones, if it has a longer tail and stuff, it's gonna, not always, but usually there's a little bit thicker sounding. So where's my samples? Did I not type snare right? I don't think I did snare. All right, so I was looking. So like I love all of these, but I think it's going to be too short. Let's take a look here. Like the whole, look at all this space. It kind of stops right here, and it like has a big dip. Can try move this here. What happened here? Oh, wait, that's not it. Actually, that does sound cool. Again, in the track, let's see. No, no, not at all. I fooled myself. You see how it kind of feels empty? It feels very thin. Like, yeah, I think this is closer to what we would. You know what? I'm gonna add that as a layer. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, I'm hearing some flam almost on that. I think that's closer to the thickness that we want. I'm starting to see why I used that shitty snare I had. Oh god. See, like, look at this. This is like super compressed. It's, which they probably did on purpose, but you know what I mean, like this is when it starts squaring off like this, transients are just being compressed. It is Mr. Bill, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was on purpose. But I don't want that. I do not. Maybe? Not drum fills. Try these. Let me take a look at this. Sassy Piccolo. Oops. lead into it. Thank you. Glad you enjoyed, man. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it. Yeah, so the snare is definitely closer to what I want. I'm gonna turn off this. Oh. Um, yeah, let me, and then like we kind of gave up on the groove, right? Let me move. Okay. Just curious where that starts. Here. Yeah, this needs to be more. I actually thought the chill parts worked. The 16ths right before the snare here actually didn't sound too bad. I think this being one of these notes, is that on a 30-second? Yeah, so let's not make that on a 30-second. Let's not do 30 seconds. I think if we're going to do any sort of triplets, it's got to be like 16ths is what my gut's telling me here. So that sounded much better already. Some of these are still distracting. And what we could do here, all right, so one of the things I wanted to do, right, is, okay, so now I will group these. And then I'm going to add a macro. I'm going to duplicate the shifter. So the reason why I'm doing this is so I'm going to choose a very specific tone I want from one shifter. So we'll call this shifter low. We'll call this one shifter high. Makes it easier when you're doing the mapping. And we'll turn this to macro 1 and map it, and this to macro one as well. So what we're going to do is set basically so it like switches them on and off like this. So yeah, that works. And so for this, going to basically say, hey, this, Control E, color code it, and say, let's say this is snare high, and then I think I already used yellow, so let's, yellow works, okay. So yeah, so then now I'll automate that. All right, just do that. So now it's snare 2, and I can, so now we have 2 snares going, like something like that, and then that way I'm still using the side chain and everything without, you know, having to make it more complicated. The other thing we could also do is change the EQ a bit using that same, so like every time it turns on, we could have like a set of, oh, okay, all of these effects are gonna turn on at the same time. For now, I'm just gonna keep it kind of like that, and I'll see what I can do later. That actually sounds better. Yeah, I was trying to listen through to see if where the snare sounded better with which one. So that's what that was all about. Okay, so now I can finally check this tone here. So I'm not boring anybody, I'll change the groove of the rest of the song to kind of fit what's going on here later. And then what I'm going to do is I kind of want to fuck with some sound design shit. So I'll bring this bad boy back over here. Let's see. So what did I do here? Okay. It's okay. I EQ cut because I have a sub below it. That makes sense. Let's do it without, or are all these pitched? Okay. I say let's just throw a bunch of random shit and see what happens. What is something new that I've done? We can kind of fuck around with, oh, hold on. So I have a flanger here, right? Um, but I've been fucking with this kilohertz one, and I'm gonna put it closer to the end. And yeah, right before the EQ sides. And maybe turn this one off. Well, let's try it with it, I guess. We can look at the sides here. Fuck here. That's kind of cool. Does it sound good when it's maybe? Definitely sounds brighter, right? But you can tell how much the flanger adds to the width. Which is why like I had to cut down some more on the mids here. And so I think this phaser is dual phasing what this flanger is doing. They're like doing this, spreading it this weird way. So there's some times where you can hear when this is on, it kind of feels like it's like canceling out certain frequencies and making it a little bit quieter. So instead, I'm going to add one of my favorite things. I always do this, and it's always too much, but I'm going to add a redux. Let's bit this bitch. Oh. Definitely doesn't work because of all the flanging, I think. And there's a saturator, and then there's a multiband saturator and a multiband. Just gonna move it over here to see what it sounds like. Yeah, it doesn't sound good also because I'm boosting the sides on these highs over here. But I always love just throwing it on to see like how it fucks up the tone. We could just for the sake of doing random ass shit, throw another OTT after the saturator and just kind of see what happens. It really boosts the highs. It's like really boosting the highs here. Yeah, that after compression. I don't think I'm gonna make this work, but you know, it's fun fucking around. Yeah, yeah. It's just the delay is being exacerbated, and that and that sound. I mean, I kind of like this flanger. This boost is nice. Removing the other flanger, I think. I mean, I think it's always fun to just try things I haven't done. So, but I could also. I think this is going to be too much. But let me try that auto pan trick that I used to that I learned real quick. I'll put it at the end. It's not going to really. I don't think it's going to really work in this case, but it might work on these legato chords. So let's do that and phase and that's kind of cool, right? So I said a single beat in milliseconds was 120, 139. So if we get a calculator, 1,000 divided by what I say 139 is 7 point. That's going to be set. So 7.19 hertz. 7.19 hertz. Help me not forget that. And so that's around here. So I'm going to try two different things. I'm going to group this. I'm going to macro it, the rate here, and I'm going to set the max. Should I do it the other way around, actually? Maybe the lowest just has to be that. Do something like that. And then like just I set this to the lowest because it's what I was doing is like doing the math for like milliseconds to hertz, since this is in hertz here. So let's here and then like that, right? That makes it more interesting and cool. I don't know if it's going to really work for the rest of the track, but let's just throw it on here, and then I'm going to choose a random sound effect. I think it would be cool is if you could just like randomly choose an effect from the audio effects and just like see what the hell. Erosion's always good. I'm just gonna do that because because it was right there in front of my face. I think I like putting it after the saturator, I think. Yeah, the erosion is too much. Also, I think I'm not going to do it now, but I just noticed like there's some parts where the drums should be swapped one or the other because there's sometimes where it was like sitting nice and other times it wasn't. So I'll automate that later. And now this is just louder than everything else. So I can toss it back on. Hold on, I could, I guess since everything else is already tuned to it, I can, or leveled to it, I can back up on the glue compressor here. Still though, it sounds cool. let me do it with a sub because it's going to be easier to see where it is with the thickness. Could add more delay at the end. Could add a corpus. I actually never use a corpus. I think there's a reason for it, but fuck it. Okay. Let's see. We can do tube. I think that could make a nice textural change. Oops. I don't know. I feel like it's not tuned correctly. Huh. It's kind of cool. Maybe, let's see, unsolo. I gotta say, probably not. Let's go fun. If you don't really fuck with width. I knew I felt that. And then these are not on. Is it because I'm not using? Ooh. Ah, I see. This is like, it's like how high the pitch is. It's just going from low to higher. That makes sense. What I don't understand is you can tell I use this all the time. Is this actually doing anything? Because it's kind of grayed out. Ah, that's what it is. It's like doing like a sidechain thing, I think. Ah, okay. Well, I'll stitch that. I don't think it needs more distortion, so let's not do any of that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I can try and throw a chorus on it, because I haven't done that in a long time. Not corpus. Where'd it go? I'll just type it in here. Core. If I could type. There you go. Let's that should be closer to here, I think. Oh. I think this would actually be pretty cool. I bet if you did if you were like looking for some sort of texture to add to it, because this is kind of, I like this under the, I guess I have it in classic. Kind of sounds like water or something. All right, so let me peel back on this. other things we could do is start messing around with things that are at the front. That's actually kind of cool. I could see how that could work. I'm going to group this. I'm not going to do it now, but I think I'm going to go ahead and mess with that at some point. It could totally work later in the track. All right, well, I have to start getting ready for other stuff tonight. I appreciate everyone who came out. And I'm gonna try and see what I can do with some of the boring stuff and get it out of the way, and then maybe I'll have something more interesting where we're doing more of that sound design stuff. But yeah.